I'm Sean Ashley and welcome to the Viewmasters of the Universe. What we're going to be looking at today is Viewmaster Reels, and in particular FT2, Hansel and Gretel. Now FT2 stands for Fairy Tale number 2, and it's the number 2 in the series of their fairy tale range. And of this series, this is a reprint of the 1946 series when they first started coming out. It only went up to 9 fairy tales. Around the 1950s they expanded those fairy tales a lot and you could get a lot more variants, and they also started making 3-reel sets of the same story, for example Arabian Nights and Alice in Wonderland. But these original ones, they just came out in 1 reel. So 1 reel plus a beautiful little booklet, and when I say beautiful, I mean, for something that is so old, it is a joy to behold. And basically what you do is you read through the story and follow the scenes. Now the later versions, released in the 70s by Gaff, when Gaff took over and started making their own Viewmaster reels, they had little illustrations inside the booklet as well, because they'd sell them in 3-reel sets, but each reel was its own story, and those little illustrations helped you keep track of what story you're actually reading, to just remind you, I'm reading the Little Red Hen, I'm not reading the Pied Piper, if that makes sense, so you didn't get lost in the story. Now this particular reel is made in Belgium, and it was this is a reprint. This is 1952, but this is the original 1946 booklet, and it was printed in the United States of America. Now the reason why I don't have a match is because I do have a match, but the original reel is really, really badly damaged, and that's how I got it when it came. I was lucky enough to, in my wheeling and dealing, come across a second reel, and I just paired the two up so I could still enjoy the beautiful story and the reel at the same time. And it's really, really good. So these original reels are printed on full color Kodachrome, and what that means is, in the Viewmaster world, the pinnacle, well, I wouldn't say the pinnacle, but the really good vintage reels are printed on Kodachrome. When they stopped printing them on Kodachrome around the Gaff era, a lot of those reels started to go magenta and go a bit funky, if that makes sense. And what I mean by funky is a lot of the colour dropped out and they become red. And it's not like the cell just turns red, but all the colour is lost and it's got a really magenta hue to it. Whereas these older ones, and I'll just put that hard up against the screen if I can, but as we're going I'll be showing you some, oh you can't see that, sorry. But the colours are still there, you can kind of see in the dull colour in there. I'm not doing it justice, but I promise you I'll put the pictures in. So I really, really love these single book stories because they're easy to follow and you can just go from one to the next. The other thing I forgot to mention too is in the center of the reel you've got the date or the year that it was produced, the title obviously, and the place of manufacturing. Now if you've never seen a Viewmaster reel before, you're welcome to the right place. There's 14 chips or 14 cells, and they match up across horizontally to make the stereoscopic view. And then the numbers don't correspond with, well, the numbers correspond with the pictures, but at the opposite angle, if that makes sense, at 90 degrees. So when you're looking through the little window on your Viewmaster, it'll tell you that it's scene 1 and that's whatever this says. Okay, so I really like this story. It's very, very charming. It's very true to the original story, I suppose you'd say. They haven't, it's not PC, let's put it that way. The witch ends up in the oven at the end and she's trying to push people in the oven, so you know. And it's hard to say it's charming because in a modern context, I suppose it is very not politically correct, and as we go through the series of the FT group of reels, it'll become less and less politically correct. But these are of the era, so pushing a witch into the oven to bake her is perfectly acceptable. But yeah, hopefully you like that. and hopefully you get a good look at all the chips that I've put through this video as we've been talking. Joining me. We're going to be covering some more of the FT series reels, as well as a whole variety of other reels ranging from travel all the way through to what they call showtime and special interest reels. So stick around for the ride, and I'll see you in the next episode. For now, it's goodbye for me, and I'll see you next time on Sean Ashley and the Viewmasters of the Universe.